The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
From the top of Kid and Kill the roar so loud, black and gold waving, we're a fearless crowd. Under them lights, the fight burns bright, greatest team assembled, ready for the fight. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, seen the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, and the state is mine. Cover Hawkeyes, walking, watch them break that press. Dropping dimes, hitting threes, never second guess. Full court hustle, hear the sneak aside. With the fight in our veins, we red at pride. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, see the whole state rise.
All right, good evening, Hawkeye fans. Andrew Barber, AJ Hawksby DeFino here with you. Another edition of the Hawks Eye View, and we're going to get you all cranked up for March Madness. So
Let's do it.
It's that wonderful time. We've flipped the calendar to the most beautiful month of the year, and we're all stoked. So that being said, let's start this off on a light note. Maybe, what's your favorite March moment? Doesn't have to be Iowa related, but it could be. March Madness moment, I guess I should say.
Yeah. I my favorite, and it doesn't go with the podcast is Ali for Okamanesh. That was one of the greatest shots. And then just them beating Kansas, but God, I don't know, but for me, all the March Madness moments for Iowa have kind of been negative. I think when I was a kid, seeing that Bruner team, Haluska, those guys when I was a kid, that really got me into Hawkeye basketball. But I think of like Northwestern State, us being so good, and I'm like, oh, like that was a heartbreak moment. I will say it's not as bad as Iowa State when we get into the tournament, but yeah, March for me, that Ali for Okamanesh shot. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a good one for Iowa, honestly. I know that sounds bad. Like,
I mean, if you want to go with a good one, it's probably the Woodbury tip in against to win the game in overtime against, I can't even remember, was that Temple or St. Joe's?
Yeah. It was like a maroonish red team. So one of those
definitely two. Temple then, I think. I can't remember.
But we could talk Bohannon shot in the semis, right, of the Big Ten tourney.
Or just literally just that run.
Yeah, that run. I mean,
that 2023 and the Keegan, basically just the Keegan Murray tournament, because he, I think, unless Edie broke it, but he might have the record for most points in a weekend at the Big Ten tournament.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. and he had like 8 threes in that game against Indiana.
Yeah. I mean,
then,
that game alone, if you just circle that game, it's one of the best games in Hawkeye history. I mean, hands down.
So, yeah, no, that's great. And then you might throw in a couple other of those Big Ten tournament runs under Steve Alford, too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the year where it was like Brody Boyd leading the way, and
Okay.
we won it all. A lot of guys got hurt, but Brody Boyd was the main shot maker there. Wrecker shot in the Big Ten tournament to win it was incredible. That was one of my favorite teams too. I'm a little bit older than you, I think, AJ, by maybe a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I have a more vivid memory.
It's Luke Wrecker, right?
Yeah, Luke Wrecker. That was
he was the man.
Yeah, Luke Wrecker, Reggie Evans, Iowa basketball was some good times.
Yeah, I was probably like 6 or 7. I remember that team for sure.
Luke Wrecker, Reggie Evans, Dues Henderson.
Yeah.
Like Mike Henderson, Brody Boyd, Sean Sonderleiter, Jared or Eric Hansen, I think, was on that squad.
Yeah, I remember actually. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, was that Jared Reiner? Jared Reiner, probably.
Henderson's brother actually coached at Des Moines Hoover.
Mike Henderson?
Yeah, or Mike Henderson, yeah.
Great. Not to go too deep into the lore, but this might be relevant because we're coming up on the boys' state basketball tournament. But Mike Henderson and Carlton Reed won for sure back-to-back state championships at Waterloo East.
Waterloo East, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they won 3 in a row, but I know they won back-to-back. And at the same time, Pella, my alma mater, won back-to-back too. Played Waterloo East at Waterloo East Mike Henderson's senior year and lost by 3 points.
That's crazy.
So the 3A champ almost beat the 4A champ early in the season. And we rolled to the 3A championship in back-to-back years. So yeah, that's your Iowa boys basketball history lesson. A fun fact for that Pella team is there's so they hired the guy that was my middle school principal to be the middle school principal at Pella. But when they were doing that search, what the other finalist was Adam Haluska's dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and Adam Haluska graduated the same year as all the guys that led Pella to back-to-back state championships.
Did he go to Pella? Did Haluska go to?
No, there's a world. I'm saying there's a world where if his dad had gotten the job,
I see.
He would have been on the team that won back-to-back state championships.
He's one of my top 10 favorite Hawkeyes, hands down.
So that team could have had just, the best player in the state.
Yeah.
Which would have been ridiculous. So sorry going off on a mega tangent there. But I love telling that all the time.
That's hilarious.
I actually asked my coach about that, and he said he's glad it didn't happen because he thinks it would have screwed up the chemistry.
Putting Haluska on the team? No way. No
and
way.
I was like, and I told them, there's no way, dude. There's no way. But it's all right. We roll on. A lot of games to talk about for both the women and the men. Let's start this off on a great note. Let's talk Iowa women's basketball because they played Purdue, they hosted Michigan, they hosted Illinois, and they played at Wisconsin, and they went 4-0 in that stretch since we were last on. The most impressive of those being the win over Michigan, obviously.
Dominant.
Just dominant from basically the tip-off. Like start to end, an 18-point win over the number 6 team in the country, a team that was ahead of them in the rankings, the net, the Big Ten standings. So that was kind of the pivotal moment, I think, of the season for the Iowa women, and that's put them in the spot that they're in, which is they're the 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament going into that this week.
Which is huge, right? Making sure that you're not the 4 seed and pretty much out in the semis, right? I mean, UCLA is going to be tough to beat. Now, if you get them at the end of the tournament, a little bit different, right? They get another game under their belt. You get to play them in the championship where they have another game, maybe a little worn down. Could be a benefit, but it's just you get to the championship if you beat Michigan. And I mean, obviously the first game's never a fluke or anything like that, but you handle your business there in that quarterfinal and you get to the semis against Michigan, a team you absolutely dominated on national television too at that. So.
Yeah. The other reason why that win was so big, there were some very important recruits in the crowd during that Iowa-Michigan women's game, including the top 10 player in the country, Nation Williams. And then it was revealed by 247 like last week that the number 1 player in 2027 is going to visit Iowa. So, and she's number 1 in 2027, so we'd be 2 years out from that. And she dropped 54 points in a game against McKenna Wolitsko's team. 54 points in one game. And she's like a do-it-all guard. She's the real deal. That would be big, big time if we were able to land her. It's just cool that we're getting like an actual official visit from the number 1 player in the country.
Yeah.
And we got that last year, if you remember, with Kate Harpering too. She visited Iowa. So that's back-to-back years the number 1 overall player has visited Iowa. We weren't able to close the deal with Kate Harpering, but we're still getting looks from those caliber of players, multiple of those caliber of players. So this run is nice. This current run is nice for this year's team, but also it's big for the future too.
Yeah, I don't see Iowa as not a landing spot for top 10 recruits, like in college, women's college basketball, at least. Like you have your UCLA, USC, you got your UConn, obviously your South Carolina. You got to put Iowa in your top 10 if you're anybody at all, really. I mean, whether it's the atmosphere that gets you, the history now that runs real strong, the relevance, the national televised games that you're on. I mean, how many nationally televised games have they been on? I mean, Peacock or NBC, Fox, multiple games in the last month. That's huge. So.
And how about just the product on the floor too?
Yeah.
It's a fun style to play.
Yeah.
If you're a high level player, and also there's now more than enough track record with even 2 years in with Jan Jensen saying that she's a great developer of players, because we've seen the development specifically with Ava Hayden, who has really cranked it up. And I believe, didn't she land on the first team?
Yep, first team, all Big Ten.
First team, all Big Ten, and it's well-deserved. And I think Stolke landed on a team, second team. And Chit Chat landed third team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Feuerbach got an honorable mention.
I think it was all defensive team or something, but
all
yes,
defensive team.
All defensive team, something like
that makes sense, and she should probably win the Defensive Player of the Year. She might win the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. So it'll be a close race, and she's in it. But let's talk expectations. Before the season, did you expect this Iowa team to be in this spot at the end of the year?
Not at all. I guess I shouldn't say not at all. I didn't expect, because my expectation was somewhere around like a 5 seed, right? Not in the Big Ten, but in the NCAA tournament, a 5 seed. And I know the 1 seed. I know we've talked about it. I've gone back and forth with you on it, and I mean, realistically, you win out. You're a 1 seed. You win out the Big Ten tournament. You're a 1 seed. You beat UCLA. You beat Michigan. You're a 1 seed. Hands down. I don't think that's a question. The question becomes is if you get to that championship game, you put up an absolute dogfight against UCLA, not like we did the first time we played them, where it kind of got out of hand in the second half of the game. But if you put up a fight, do they maybe slide you in there to the last 1 seed, or you're the first 2 seed? But anyways, I go on here about it, but I thought our expectation this year was a 5 seed. We're a fairly young bunch, a lot of new pieces. A 5 seed looks good. So I think if anyone said they had this expectation, good on them. One, a lot of hope in Jan and the team, but you got to look at like kind of who they had, and you weren't quite sure how those pieces were all going to fit, and they fit. So it's been a hell of a season for the girls.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't expect this, but I was kind of the mindset of maybe finish top 4 in the Big Ten and host the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament, which would have meant a 4 seed or higher.
Yep.
Probably on the lower end. I thought we would be closer to maybe that 4 seed. And I thought that what we're seeing now, the reality of where they're at now, was like the ceiling if everything goes right. If everything falls into place perfectly and everything goes right, this is where they would be. They'd be a 2 seed teetering on the edge of a 1 seed. Everything did not go right. We had some early season losses to Iowa State, got blasted by UConn, had that rough stretch in the Big Ten where we lost to USC, UCLA, and Minnesota, bounced back from that, had to lose a starter, our best shooter probably for the entire season, for the rest of the season, a little over halfway through the season, and adjust on the fly. And your 5-star freshman played very inconsistently, and you're still here. That's a tribute to Jen Jensen's coaching and just like the players for just stepping up. So I think this is kind of better than anyone could have expected, even with a lot of things that have kind of not gone their way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you look at the end of February or end of January and beginning of February, those 3 losses, but I mean, it didn't stunt the season or kill the season there for them at all. We go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game winning streak after that. Not to mention you got 2 ranked opponents there in the middle of all that, Michigan and Washington, both at home, but very quality wins. So overall they get the 2 seeds. So their matchup, do you have the bracket up by chance?
I do. Well, I don't have it up. I have it memorized.
Okay.
They're going to play the winner of Michigan State, Illinois.
That's right. Okay.
Which will be a good game, and I hope it goes to 8 overtimes. So let it play out as long as it can on Thursday night, and then Iowa can turn around on 5:30 on Friday night and blast a tired team. I like the matchup against, I think, maybe Michigan State a little bit better. Illinois is I think we had them handled, but they just kept hitting ridiculous threes at the end of that game.
Yeah, they did.
It's not like they were completely unguarded and just blasting some wide open ones. They were just like shooting some contested threes and blasting them. So I don't know. I don't feel too scared about either of those matchups. And then probably a rematch with Michigan, I would imagine. if I'm looking at the bracket correctly, I'm just going to project Michigan. I think Michigan plays. You got the bracket up?
I don't know. Let me
Okay.
look here.
I guess I have Iowa's part of the bracket memorized. I'm just doing a little bit of projecting and saying we're going to play Michigan in the semis. If we.
Let me look here.
Yeah.
So
We should have this up and ready for you guys.
I wonder if it's Indiana, Ohio State. Is that there?
No.
There's no. Oh, Maryland. Maryland would play.
Michigan, most likely. Yeah, Maryland's going to play the winner of Oregon, Purdue.
Purdue. Oregon's up right now.
Yeah, I would project Oregon. And Illinois does have to start tonight, or they did start tonight. Did they play?
They won.
Yeah, I would assume.
By
I
12.
just kind of assumed that Illinois was going to beat Wisconsin.
I did see the Indiana women were down 20 in the second quarter and made their largest comeback in history. And beat Nebraska. So hey,
and
that's a win for
eliminates
all of us.
That eliminates the Nebraska women from the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, we love that.
So, there's an upset for you. But yeah, looks like Illinois will play Michigan State. Then obviously Oregon will play Maryland. So probably a Maryland-Michigan matchup. And I would just project that Michigan's going to win that one.
Yep.
So Iowa, Michigan for the chance to probably play UCLA unless someone on the other side of that bracket pulls off an upset. Yeah. Which I'm not going to bank on. But if any team could get hot and do it, maybe Ohio State. Maybe. But I think all signs point to an Iowa UCLA rematch. And where are they playing?
That's a great question.
Are we in Indy?
Let me look here.
State.
Yeah, Indy, Gainbridge, Fieldhouse.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we get to play UCLA for the championship on Sunday in Indy. And I think that's just to see what happens.
Yep.
You talked 1 seed, 2 seed. In my mind, Iowa will, if they go to the championship, they'll play themselves into the highest 2 seed, which it's not that much different.
Yeah.
Being the highest 2 seed versus being the lowest 1 seed. It's really not. It's just a matchup thing.
So how they line it up with the highest 2 seed, does that go with UConn or does that go to the lowest 1 seed?
Highest 2 seed goes to the lowest 1 seed. And
okay.
The most recent ESPN women's bracketology has us lined up with Texas as the 1 seed. So the 4 1 seeds are UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, Texas.
Yeah.
South Carolina and Texas could probably be on a collision course this weekend too in the SEC. Yeah. And if one or the other blows the other out, then maybe that drops one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them have probably done enough to maintain a 1 seed regardless of the outcome. The only outcome would be if Iowa won the Big Ten over UCLA and Texas and/or South Carolina got blown out. So
you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. There's a small chance. But that's probably what would have to go their way. I think it's just more likely that they're just going to get the highest 2 seed, play their way into the highest 2 seed and host, and then end up in probably one of the Sacramento regionals with like Texas. That's where they're lined up right now, according to ESPN, is Sacramento Regional with Texas. The other regionals are in Fort Worth. Texas hasn't played well enough to be in one of those, which is good. So the path for that with women would be win 2 in Iowa City and then maybe win 2 in Sacramento. We'll see. But what do you think a realistic outcome? Because I think this is for sure Sweet 16 squad that we have here. And then after that, I think it's kind of just matchup driven, need a little luck, some things to go right from there. So I think anything after that is maybe gravy. This is a team that I think probably Elite 8.
Yes.
Probably the ceiling. Depends. It just depends. And, upsets happen, right? One seeds could get knocked off.
Yeah.
That could work Iowa's way, or that could work against Iowa.
Yeah.
But we've benefited from upsets before in the women's bracket. It doesn't happen all the time, but we've benefited from that before. And maybe that would be probably what we need to make it back to a Final Four if anything crazy like that was going to happen. Yeah. That's also that, like, making a Final Four with this group would just be insane because that is not where this team is supposed to be at this juncture.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think Elite 8 is your shooting point. That's where you want to be. I mean, obviously you want to win the national championship, but if you can get this team to the Elite 8, I think that's huge, not only for recruiting, but just for this team, Jan, just kind of moving forward, all these younger players that we have, all that experience that they get inside the NCAA tournament. But yeah, I think it's going to take something, and doesn't really necessarily happen in women's basketball as much, where those 1 seats go down, especially early. So yeah, I mean, we'd probably need something like that to happen. But yeah, I'm excited. March is here.
Or we just need Addie Deal to light it up for 5 games or 6 games in a row, like she did for those 2-3 game stretch. If she just decides to light it up again, well, then we might roll to the Final Four.
I think she had a pretty good game against Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. Well, who didn't have a good game against Wisconsin? Yeah. Wisconsin is so bad. That was basically just shooting practice.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough out there for Wisconsin right now.
Yeah, Addie. I guess she only had 3 points. I guess I must have only just seen she's averaging 3 points in the last, or I guess 4 points in the last 4 games. So, but she hasn't really played a whole lot of minutes. Like in the Michigan game, she only played 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's because Stremlo is playing so well. Stremlo and Houston are just tearing it up. Stokey's playing well. Chit Chat, obviously, just steady. So, yeah, Stremlo's really stepped it up and has been pretty hot from 3 recently. And that's why Addie Deal's minutes are down. So, it's a good problem to have, where you have so much talent that you can just rest people and not really feel the consequences of it. So, all right. Anything else women's basketball you got for me?
I don't think so. Ready to get March started, and this is when it gets fun. So, especially women's comes first, and that's like, that always gets me kind of pumped up, because especially as of late, our women's teams have obviously dominated not only just attendance at Carver, but my viewership too, like, in my excitement for, a succeeding program and some positivity to the Hawkeyes. So, it's going to be exciting.
Well, yeah. And I mean, to me, this season is emblematic of a step of just becoming a blue blood in women's
Yeah.
basketball.
Powerhouse. Yeah.
Powerhouse. Yeah. Just becoming a absolute powerhouse. I think this is a big step towards that, because I think next year's team, we'll have to see how it all comes together. But next year, and then 2 years, 3 years out, maybe 2 years out for sure, gonna have more talent than this year's squad. And we'll just see how that comes along, because that's scary in my mind. If you're playing like this, and this is what you look like when you have maybe a little bit less talent and you acquire more talent, what's that going to look like? So Jane Jonathan's going to have an embarrassment of riches to work with next year and going forward. So, all right. Well, enough on that. I think we will take a quick break here for hear from some of our sponsors, and then we'll come back, talk men's basketball, maybe a little football recruiting. So we'll see you all in a couple minutes.
Right here in Iowa, we don't mess around when it comes to food. Creasman Foods is raising the bar on frozen pizza. Bold sauce, loaded toppings, and crust that actually holds up when you grab that second slice. This isn't just another box in the freezer aisle. This is Iowa-made pizza, built on real food service experience and brought straight to your local grocery store. You can find Creasman Foods at Hy-Vee, Fairway, and other local retailers across the state. And if you don't see it, ask for it by name. Because if you're already buying frozen pizza, you might as well buy one that brings serious flavor to the table. Creasman Foods, Iowa-made. Big flavor, no shortcuts. In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest: Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside, and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations: Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with, a meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for: balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, where Iowa comes for steak done right.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
All right, welcome back here on the Hawk's Eye View, and we can flip the script to men's basketball. A little bit of a rough stretch here over the past 3 games for the Iowa men. I think they've done – question here, some people are questioning this. I'm not. I think they've done enough to be an NCAA tournament lock. I think it's really just a matter of seeding. Everything I've seen has them on that 8-9, that dreaded 8-9 right now. And I think that's, if they lost out from this point going forward, that's exactly where they would still be. The committee has kind of said this. The people who make the decisions, the bracketologists have said this. one loss doesn't do as much for you as a great win, right? Like that. Thinking that a loss on the road to Penn State, which is a quad 2 loss, by the way, so it's not our worst loss of the season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's quad 2. So a quad 2 loss on the road doesn't drop you multiple seed lines out of the tournament, contrary to maybe the belief of some Iowa fans on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. You're not dropping out just because you lost to Penn State. It's a bad loss. It's not a good one, obviously, but I think the bigger picture says NCAA tournament team for this Iowa men's team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know that we're at least in the tournament. I don't think that's a question. The question then is, are we going to win these next two? One, we know that. That's the biggest question. Can we try to put up a fight against Michigan? I don't know how we do that. I think Michigan's one of the best teams in the country, hands down. And we've struggled, really. We have struggled mightily. At home, I guess, against Illinois is kind of where I'm referencing or looking back at that game. And then Purdue, of course, too, who hasn't looked good and is struggling right now against Northwestern. They're down 2 right now late in the second half. So, anyways, yeah, I think that a 9 seed is where we're at. I think that's all the projections. A month and a half, 2 months ago, I was looking at bracketology and figuring out, where's Iowa going to be, right? And now they have us pretty squarely, almost every bracketologist around 8, 9. My question would be, are we better off in a 10 seed at this point? Unless we win out the next 2 and win a couple in the Big Ten tournament, get into a 7 seed. We're better off in a 10 spot, because the last thing we want to do is have to play a UConn, a Florida, an Arizona in the second round, and that's just not going to happen. It's not likely. So that's how I'm looking even further ahead here and going, I'd actually like to move down a notch if we could, but obviously I don't get to just pick and choose, but I would like to just win out the next 2, win a couple in the Big Ten tourney here. Ohio State did win today. I don't know if you saw that. They beat Penn State by 32.
I saw that. Yeah, Penn State put on their best effort against Iowa. No. Can we win the next 2? The answer is no. Michigan's the best team in the country. I don't care what happened on that neutral court against Duke. I know they lost to Duke in that game. That came during kind of the middle of the grind to conference season. Even with their backup point guard going out for the rest of the year, I firmly believe Michigan's probably the best team in the country. Yeah. And they're also the worst possible matchup for this Iowa squad. Mainly because of their size. Yeah. They do that to every team, right? Yeah. Not just Iowa, not just whoever. They're going to destroy teams on the glass in the NCAA tournament too, so you'll get to see that on full display. Yeah. There's only maybe a handful of teams that could really even come close to stopping them, and Duke is one of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
totally agree. Duke, Arizona, Florida, maybe.
I don't even know if Florida is big enough, really, in my opinion.
I know, and that's Florida's thing, right? Florida's thing is their size. This isn't a Michigan podcast, but if I had to, Michigan is going to be right there at the end of things, I think.
So you're saying that's who's going to be in your bracket? So when you join the bracket that we're going to start, you're taking Michigan?
I'll have to look. But
all right.
I have a strong leaning towards Michigan. Strong lean.
I don't think we have a line out for tomorrow's game yet, or at least I haven't seen. I don't know if do they put them out tonight or Do they do them in the morning?
Yeah, I think they usually put them out late at night or early in the morning. I don't need to see it. It's probably heavily in favor of Michigan.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just want to see a competitive game out of Iowa. I just want to see some sort of glimpses of the January defense and not the February defense. And I'd just like to get out of there scot-free with everybody's health intact.
Yeah.
Too. Firmly believe that we have a chance against Nebraska.
Yes.
It's a tough place to play, which is what makes it so difficult. And we're going to get probably their best shot, too, because of what happened earlier this season.
Yeah.
The whole court storming and everything. But also, Nebraska's 5-5 right now in their last 10.
Yeah.
And they've lost to all 5 NCAA tournament caliber teams. And they won against all 5 non-NCAA tournament caliber teams. And that trend may just continue.
I mean, they got throttled, right? Last night by 20.
Yeah, on the road at UCLA. Tough game, right? Because it's late.
Yeah.
But you would think for a team that was rolling the way they were, they'd show up a little bit more.
Yeah.
UCLA has kind of come on strong. The real problem for this Iowa men's team is if you don't win one of those two, now you're not in the double bye anymore. We need one of those two to get into the double bye.
And Ohio State to lose to Indiana this weekend.
Fully possible because Indiana is that's a team that's on the bubble that's playing for their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that is a bubble team. They picked up a win tonight.
Yeah.
A home win against Minnesota doesn't really move the needle.
Mm-mm.
You need a home win against Indiana.
Yeah.
To move, or against Ohio State, who's also on the bubble. I think Ohio State's more on the right side of the bubble than Indiana. So a lot of seeding things to work out, but again, got to win one, got to have Ohio State lose to even be in that double bye. And I don't know, like, does it matter because you're in the 8-9 in the Big Ten and you're just headed for a rematch with Michigan?
Yeah,
If you get the double bye, I mean, you're headed for who would it be in the 9 spot? Ohio State? Would we because we hold the tiebreaker over Ohio State?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it would be Ohio State. Yeah,
So
I mean
you're basically either way in a situation playing a team against a team that's desperate to be on the right side of the bubble, and then a team that's the best team in the country.
Yeah. Well,
if you beat Ohio State.
Yeah. So there is a scenario, but we have to beat the whole season really kind of relied on that Penn State game. It really kind of, not the whole season, I guess I should say, the whole seeding situation really relied on that Penn State game. We win that Penn State game. We are really looking at a good spot. We really just have to win one of two. If we win one of two, possibility we can slide up in front of UCLA as well. But now at this point, we're stuck trying to win two of the next two against Michigan and Nebraska. It's just more unlikely than not to happen. So
yeah, that's not going to happen. Even with this recent skid, though, I would say successful season for this Iowa men's team, because I don't know how many people outside of the Iowa fan base truly expected this team to be even in a spot where they're not really on the bubble. I think that's kind of where people expected them to be, was the bubble.
Yeah, I did. I mean, my initial thought on the season was 10 seed or bubble, right? 10 to bubble or not make it. So yes, exceeding my expectation. What really frustrates me is we're saying, oh, well, this team this and this team that, and it's Ben's first year. it's just a couple games that we really, it's Maryland and Penn State. If we win one of the two, then we can start talking more about, okay, well, a couple fluke games, whatever here and there. I can't get over losing to the two worst teams in the Big Ten. I know they're away games. I get it. I do. I get it. We didn't show up. I get it. Oh, my goodness. That Penn State game crushed me, and the Maryland game just frustrated me because they were more athletic than us. They got into the lane at free will. But Penn State, they shot 64% or something like that from the field. That's crazy. That I guarantee you, if we went back and look at every Penn State game, which I'm never going to do, they did not shoot 64% against anyone else in the entire country all season long. And that's them playing, who knows who at the beginning of the year. Fairfield, New Haven, Navy, LaSalle. Come on, they didn't shoot that high. So that's what frustrates me, because this team is, built around the defense and slow pace of a game, and you just can't let a team like Penn State do that to you. So that very, very frustrated me. Everyone keeps talking about Ben his first year, and I agree. I'm okay with that. I get it. But this team is it's talented. It's a group that's been together. They're strong together. Can't lose those type of games. I'm okay losing to Purdue's and Illinois. That's okay. I get it.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. It's just, I think what I would say to you is Ben McCollum is extremely self-aware. So he understands, and he said it, like, we're a mid-tier Big Ten team who gets up for the big games and doesn't get up for the games against bad teams.
That. Yeah.
And that's a good thing for him to say and understand, because he's not excusing it. He's saying, this is who we are. I'm aware of it. But the problem for him is he doesn't really have a lot of fixes for it. There's not a secret sauce there, because it's the same things that we've been talking about for months, right? Like, there's not really a second creator / scorer next to Sturts.
Yeah.
There's not really a rim protector on defense. And when you're missing those two things, that's the reason for a lot of the problems that you're talking about. Penn State shooting such a high percentage. Well, they could get to the rim, and when you're there, there's no one to deter you at the rim on this current Iowa squad. So, like, I think it's a roster problem. It's a roster limitation problem. And
do you think,
kind of like what we talked about with the women, where you have some unexpected breakout players like Chit Chat and Journey Houston and Hayden taking a leap. You invested in Fulgaris and Howson, and those guys have been inconsistent at best.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically Fulgaris, like, he's had great moments, he's had really bad moments.
Yeah.
And Howson, just for whatever reason, barely plays.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of tough, I think. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
I lost my train of thought. I started thinking about Hassan, and I like him. I liked when we brought him in, but I think he's just a little engine that can't, almost. I don't know how to, without being rude. He's just kind of that little guy. He's got it all. Like, he's working so hard out there, but he just can't do it. I don't know.
I don't know, but like, he is a decent player on a bad team with Kansas State.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the difference. Is, I think we've talked about this before, is probably just an adjustment for him with a coach who has high expectations and expects to win.
Yeah.
I've heard David Eichholt say this. So Ben McCollum is a psychopath, and he means that in the best ways possible. Like, psychopath that he wants to win.
Yeah.
And you think about, like, the best athletes, the best coaches, a lot of them have kind of that psychopathic trait tendency. Like we see Caitlin Clark, she goes nuts, goes ballistic on the court.
Mhm.
Very expressive. It's part of what makes her great, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Ben McCollum is Caitlin Clark coaches, but he is a great coach. still.
Passionate, competitive.
And someone that other college coaches and NBA coaches call for X's and O's advice.
Yeah.
They call him. Like McCaslin at Texas Tech calls Ben McCollum to ask for advice. Maybe not so much anymore,
Yeah.
but in the past, he did.
Yeah.
So
I know what I was going to bring up, Barber.
go ahead. Let's hear it.
No, I'm just thinking about like rim protector and things of that nature. And not that Banks is necessarily that, but do you think he's still hurt? Like he's not 100%, right? Like
Yeah.
he's kind of been non-existent. I mean, he has, but not really been a full participant, you know?
Yeah, and Manio is a guy like Banks. Yeah, I think he's still hurt. He's been awesome though, obviously at points.
Yeah,
this
I love
season.
him. I love him.
Love him. Hope we can get another year. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna fight for his eligibility. Hopefully, we'll get another year.
Yeah.
Because he would be awesome on next year's squad. And I love like Manio too because he fights hard.
Yeah.
He's just limited by the fact he's 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
He likes to get himself into foul trouble, though. I will say, even at Drake, he'd foul out about every 3 to 4 games, which
Yeah.
I'll take.
Yeah, but like the effort's there, but he's an offensively limited player and defensively just limited by his size.
Yeah.
Howard, I love him. Love his effort. He's got some work to do offensively.
Yeah.
But he brings it effort-wise. But he played very few minutes in the second half against Penn State.
Yeah.
Howard played very few minutes, and Tate Sage played no minutes.
Yeah.
And those are two guys that have been a big part of the rotation. Housen played 11 minutes and was completely ineffective.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was odd. I thought that was an odd decision.
It was odd, and there's maybe some reasoning behind it that we don't understand, but you know, it's Tate Sage's minutes have kind of decreased as kind of February is worn on, and there's reasons for that. So Cooper Koch had a great day, by the way, against Penn State. Yeah. So that was nice to see. He's refreshing. He is, if there's one guy besides Fulgaris that could get the offense rolling, it's him. So we need him to maybe heat up a little. And I just think maybe a little bit the scout is out on Iowa a little to an extent around the Big Ten circles. So it might be refreshing for us to play a non-conference opponent in March Madness.
Yeah.
Someone
on a short notice.
Yeah. And, you know, kind of like what you saw with Missouri against Drake, Missouri wasn't really ready for the style that Drake threw at them. And I think Iowa is very similar to where if you get maybe the right matchup, an opponent who doesn't like the kind of slow it down, grind it out style, you can kind of really frustrate them. So I think you get the right matchup. You need some things to fall your way. The absolute ceiling is making a miraculous Sweet 16 run.
Yeah.
That's the absolute ceiling.
I agree.
That would probably mean knocking off a 1 or a 2 seed, depending on what happens with seeding here. So maybe you need a little bit of help from a major upset. Who knows? But
that would be crazy if Iowa got so lucky to play a St. Peter's Peacocks team, or something like that.
Right.
Would be wild.
Yeah. Which, by the way, in the Fran era, we never were the beneficiary of an upset. We always played the highest seeded team possible in every situation. So Well, we never got the luck of the draw when it came to that. We never got to benefit from madness. So, yep. Enough about that. They're going to go into the Big Ten tournament, and I think the goal should be to win at least one game.
Yeah.
There.
Has to be.
I think realistically, win one of these last two, win one of the Big Ten tournament, and you would go into March Madness feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you lose out, I guess I think you can still make it, but there may be kind of a nightmare scenario where you end up in the first four.
It's possible. Things have to pan out that way. I think a lot of things are kind of playing out not so great for Iowa. I think TCU won last night. I want to say, NC State got blown out by Duke or Virginia. But, I think some things just kind of had to work itself out. I know St. Louis just won tonight. Really, we're kind of just hoping for those teams on the bubble just to keep shit in the bed and falling apart here because, it just doesn't put so much pressure on the team to have to do so much here late in the season.
Yeah, I think it's less likely that a team on the bubble rises up so high that knocks off Iowa because we compare well to the other bubble teams.
Yeah.
The nightmare is if there's a lot of bid stealers in conference tournament week here this week and next week. If there's some bid stealing going on from teams who weren't really supposed to make it at all. And therefore that eats up like another spot. Like
St. Louis is what I'm looking at, the A-10 and then the MAC with the Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, like if Akron wins that conference tournament.
I like that. That's a good one to lay down on there. Take Akron to win it.
Yeah, Akron to win it and Miami of Ohio probably gets in at large, then that's a nightmare scenario where like VCU is probably out, but if they win the A-10 tourney, then they're in, and St. Louis is for sure in as an at-large. So, yeah, I don't know. There's what happens to like with Belmont. Belmont probably gets knocked out if they don't win the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you need a lot or multiples of those kinds of situations, plus some bubble teams playing really well to knock Iowa out. I don't think it's a realistic scenario to knock Iowa out.
I think you're pretty much in unless you get blown out in both games. But just circling the Nebraska game, because I think we kind of chalked up Michigan to a loss or just an absolutely miracle, stunning upset, which would really just make this season it'd just make the season really at this point, because more than likely they're a Final Four team. But anyway, so the Nebraska game, that game, like, do we replay it the same way? Like, do we put Sturts on Sanford? Like, everything has to be done the same. I mean, we just played them 2 weeks ago. So, like, what changes here? Like,
I don't.
Big Ten's crazy. I get it. And playing at home or away is completely different either way you put it. But, like, how do you – I just don't know how I see this game not being the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a pretty similar game plan, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's not like the personnel has changed greatly for either team.
And like, I guess if you're Nebraska, your game plan is get ahead early, because then Iowa's forced to have to try to run with you, and that's not something we do. But I think we possessed that game literally from almost start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
It was like run the football. All right, play action, run the football, it was like literally perfectly executed.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like, yeah, it's going to have to be that kind of an effort and having to do that on the road, which is something that's difficult, especially for this team. So I'm not going to say, yeah, we're for sure going to go in there and win that. But if we have a chance, that's the one. Because Rinkmast, good player. He's just him and Bjerkjanjel it's not. It doesn't attack Iowa where they're weakest.
Yeah.
They don't have that strong front line that we have seen just kill Iowa over and over. And they don't have – I like Hoiberg and Lawrence, but I don't think they're the kinds of guards that kill Iowa either.
Right.
So they're not set up to attack Iowa where they're weakest. Said it before we beat them at home. They're just – again, it's true again. But they're going to be desperate, and their fans are desperate.
Yeah.
They might storm the court on us because they can't beat us in anything except volleyball.
That wouldn't surprise me.
They can't, man. They're desperate for a win, any kind of a win against Iowa. They haven't seen it in almost a decade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and predict us to lose these last two games here. I think we'll be back next week. Well, no, we won't.
Yeah.
We won't.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah.
You want to spill or do you want me to spill? I think most people know.
Yeah.
If you paid any kind of attention to the show or our posts or follow us on social media, you'll know that we're going to be at Jay's CD and Hobby in Ankeny.
Right down the road.
Next Saturday, March 14, to pre-game the Mark Gronowski and Caden Weechin autograph signing, meet and greet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So we'll be there at 11 a.m.
Yep.
On a Saturday morning.
Yes, sir.
Up early on March 14th and broadcasting live, which I'm excited about because we haven't done a live. Well, we did a live show at Revelton once, but this will be first one where I've had a co-host live with me at a location. So
sweet.
Oh no, we did a live one at the front row too.
Cool.
But never anything like this where Mark Gronowski and Caden Weechin or any Iowa players are gonna show up.
Yeah.
At the end of our podcast. I don't know, guys. We're going to try maybe to work our magic to see if one or both of them will come on and hang out with us, but I don't know if it's realistic or whatnot. So don't get your hopes up too high, but that'd be pretty cool. Oh, did we lose? And we lost AJ Hawkesby. So his computer just died on him. And that is a way to end the podcast for the night. So thank you all for listening. We appreciate you all. Have a great night. Go Hawks.
Talking football, talking hoops, every sport in between. I don't WA, yeah, you know what I mean. From my heart